Hi, I'm Chris here. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching my video, please make sure you read on the description and the title below for the current software version that I'm using right now. My goal with this channel is to help you to become a better modeler. So please take a moment and let me know in the comment how am I doing. Remember to leave a thumbs up so it can help the YouTube to share this video with a wider audience. And if you aren't subscribed, please do so and click on the bell for future content. Hi, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how do you create parameterized column in TRBC-III. So right now, always when you want to start modeling, always go to a drawing tab because drawing tab here, the features over here will help you to model everything faster rather than identify tab. Here, mostly the features and function will help you to capture the cats and open up the drawing. So you might also sometimes accidentally select on the cat and delete it. So to create a column, you can always go to the tab over here for modeling. So select on the column over here in the framework, or you can select the column over here to create. If you want to have a better view, you can always expand this window. But for me, I would not like to expand because it will taken some space on the modeling process, which I will keep it simple. So to create a new column, you can go to a new over here, select the parametric column. However, in TS, when you when you create a new column, it will look quite a bit different. You will have an icon and also the description as well. I prefer you to open up the CAD drawing like this, the column schedule, and you put it side by side on the left screen. So from here, you can easily to extract your information, or if you do not have your screen, you can use these features like add the column schedule, put it over here, and then you can maybe you relocate your drawing closer to your project like this one, and then we need to look for the parameters column, which is this one. So a bit introduction for this row over here. The first row will be talk about size. We're going to fill in this row, the information over here. The second one is on the main bars and the link. So this one we will cover it on the next video. And then this is a concrete grid and column marking. Remember, always go to the draw tab, select on the new, and then you will see the parameterized column over here. Select on this one, make sure it's actually in the same shape, which is LA, and then select OK. Once select OK, it will appear the name over here. Then you want this to be open bigger, select on the pop-up at this section. Once it's pop up, make sure you fill on the right information, which this one 300, 400, and this 400 and 300. So for the rebar, I will talk it on the next video. So we have to close it back by selecting on this one, restore to the edit section. Right now, we are talking about this column, which is T shape. However, if you look carefully, this column did not provide any dimension, but it did provide dimension over here on the floor above. We can cross-check with these two, actually, are they the same dimension by using this trick. Right click, there's a distance over here, so you can select the distance by unselecting this random point. Try not to select this random point because it will randomly point everywhere, which may lead to inaccuracy. So select on the point over here and the point, which will tell you there's 1006, and then the next point over here, select it again, just like this one, 500, which is quite yeah, which is similar over this side, and then make sure this is 1006. Yeah, in this case I will use this information over here to fill it up in our T-shaped column. Selecting on the parameters column, when the window appear, if you can't see any of them, then you can choose the list over here, which is T-shape. Select on the T-shape, select which of the list that is closer to this shape, which means TA. Click on OK, and then click on this one, pop up the edit section, move this window beside, fill in the information over here, 400, 800, 800, 400, and this is 500 and 500. Just like this one. Close it up. Here we go. We got our column. So right now we have to change on the column marking. We either can change it over here in the list, C6, or we can select and change it over here. Either way will do. So right now we will talk about the concrete grades. For this concrete grade, for this code 2 column is grade 30 for the column below and the column above. So to change the column grade, we can change it to here. Just like this, selecting both of the column, change it to grade 30. So first of all, I need to let you know that why it will be in a bracket, just like just now in a bracket. So the bracket actually means it's by default following on the floor setting, which is over here, the project setting in the floor setting. So once you click on this floor setting, it will appear another window. So make sure you click on the right floor. The information will be described over here. So actually it means that when you see bracket, it means by default in the list, which is follow this thing, concrete covers, and then it's a concrete grade, and all the lappings is over here. Make sure you change this correctly. If you found that in most of the project there's at the same grade, let's say your column is grade 30, make sure you change it over here. So before you start model, trust me, it will save you a lot of time because you don't need to change it again and too often once you in your modeling process. So we have to change the grade. Okay, once changed, then we need to click on the shape over here, size. Yeah, from here you can easily see that differentiate you this C6 and 7 between the rest of the column, and also without going into this column you can actually have a better view. Or this is actually a C6. So right now I have to fill in the summary info and the construction phase over here. So after we done all of our column, all this information will be categorized itself into the way that we want. So we have to fill in this thing by following on the existing column over here. We can copy the existing column, let's say summary info over here, say that it's podium, and just Control C to copy, and then move to the list over here, and then paste it over here. We can also select both of them and then paste it just like this. I will prefer not to type it manually. If you type it wrongly by accidentally on the capital letter, or there's a typo over here, the software will recognize this as a separate row. That means that it's not directly on the same podium as the other column. So we do not want that to happen. So it's the best that we copy something to the words file, or we can get the things that we want from the existing column. You can press on the Control C to copy, or press on the right click to copy and then paste it as well over here in the construction phase. Okay, so after we done, I need to explain a bit on the blue colors wording and also black color wording. Blue color wording here means that all the attribute name will represent public entity, and the black wording represent private entity. So what it means is that, for example, by selecting on the column over here, if I will change the material, let's say for this one, institute, I change it to precast. Once I unselect the column and move back to the list of the C6, then you can see the material over here have changed to precast. If I were to change it again, institute, while selecting on this column, it will change it to institute as well. However, if I were to change on the private entity, for example, for this top elevation, change it to 1 meter, only this column, the private entity have changed to 1 meter height. So for the C6, the next C6 I will to point in, it will be in floor top elevation. As you can see in 3D, both of them are separate. When you highlight them together, and you'll see there's a question mark because it's inconsistent between these two entities. After we done everything, we need to point in the column. To point the column, we have to open up the layout, which is this one. For the layout, you can click on the C6 and click on point. You can click on the F4 if you're unable to point this stuff. Do not click on the random point. Only click on the F4, sorry, not F3 to point. And for T shape, you can click on F4 as well. It will allow you easy to point because it will usually move the point to the corner of the edge of the column, will allow you to easy to point on the CAD drawing, just like this. After you point, make sure you cross check and then copy to the floor above. Let's say there's a column on the floor above. Then it will look like this one. So after you've done all your column, then you have to calculate the quantity. You have to go to this quantity tab, select on this calculate. It will appear this calculate window, or you can select F9 for shortcut for the calculation. Select all them and select calculate. In TRB, it will take quite some time to calculate for a big project, so you have to use it wisely. And then you can view your report over here in the view quantity by category. So from here, you click on OK and then move to column. So from here, as you can see, you can customize your report by range and settings over here. And also you can click on the subtotal to make it much easier to extract your quantity. Let's say you want this podium floor, I want to extract it from here, or there's some round column that I want to extract. You can extract directly from here. So that's all for this video. Thank you.